Good afternoon, everyone. In last lecture, we have studied what is decomposition. Decomposition means the process of breaking down the given relation into two or more relations such that each of the new relations which consist or contains a subset of attributes. Like if we are having a relation R and if we are going to divide it in R1 and R2, these two new relations, then make sure that R1 and R2 individually, this two relation will consist a subset of attributes which are already available in the parent, which is the relation R. Types of decompositions are lossy and lossless. So lossy means sometimes once we are creating from relation R to R1 and R2, and still once we are merging these two relations, R1 and R2, we are joining them and still we are not able to display the same relation. So this important data will be lost, or we are having some extra data through which we are not able to identify which data is the correct one. So we have taken this example, account number, balance and branch. We have divided into two different relations. This is R1 and balance branch. This is R2. Now, once we are merging these two tables together, R1 and R2, which I am highlighting right now, if we are performing join on this two table, which is highlighted, we are getting this as a result. So ideally our result should contains the two records and it should be similar to this, because previously we are having this table, we have created two new tables from that, and once we are merging this two table, it should be similar to this, but as you can see, it is not same. Why? Because here we are having this two extra records which is not correct. Like for account number 001, the branch showing here is Baroda, but if you see in the original table, for account number 001, the branch should be Rajkot. And for account number 002, here the branch showing is Rajkot, but the correct data is, it is Baroda. So the highlighted part with the red marker, it is an extra record which is not useful. And due to that, these two tables, the previous table before the decomposition has taken place, and after that joining, we are getting two different tables. What is lossless? If we are creating relation R1 and R2 from the relation R, and once we are going to join these two newly created relations R1 and R2, so it will display the same relation which we are having previously. It is called lossless decomposition. For example, like this, from this account number, balance and branch, we are calling this as a relation R. We are going to create this R1 and R2. Now, once we are merging these two tables together, we are getting this table and it is same as the previous one. Why? Because we are not having any extra records, any incorrect data we are not having here, and that's why it is similar to the previous one. Okay, so all the decomposed relations should be in the lossless decomposition, only then we are getting the correct relation. We have completed this. After that, we have seen that what is database anomalies. Okay, this topic of the last lecture is connected with today's topic. Okay, so database anomalies means the problems which we are facing while we are dealing with the database. There are three kinds of problems: insert, delete, and update. Okay. What is insert anomaly? We have taken this example. For example, we are having a employee table. It is for one of the organization, and they are having just a single table in which they are storing each and every detail, like who is the employee, what is the address of that employee, in which department the employee is going to work, who is the manager for the department. They are managing a simple table and a single table too to manage all the data in the organization. Suppose, for example, previously we are having these two employee names, Stuti and Rutvi, who are working in the sales department. Okay. Now, one new department called accounts is started in this organization. So we need to create the account department. But once the account department started, immediately we didn't have any of the employee who is associated with that accounts department. So we are putting null in rest of the places, which is the details regarding the employees. But we know that the department is started in the organization is named accounts. The manager who is in charge, his ID is 2 and the department number is 5. We know with the detail. But as we know that this employee number is a primary key of this table, and primary key will not allow null values. That's why whenever we are inserting the record like this last row, we are having a problem. It is called insert anomaly. An insert anomaly occurs when inserting certain attribute. Here our inserting attributes are department number, department name, and department's manager is dependent on the presence of the values in other attribute. So this all things are dependent on this. If I'm having an employee in that department, only then I'm supposed to enter into this table. It is called insert anomaly. That means the problem which we are getting is when we are inserting the data. Okay. After that, we have seen that what is a delete anomaly. Suppose this is one person, Akash, who is working under accounts department, and he is the only person who is working under this department. Suppose Akash want to leave the organization. At that time, we need to delete this record. This entire record should be deleted. But if I am going to delete this, it is not just deleting the employee detail, or also it will delete the department details. Like account department will be deleted from the organization, which is not the correct way. Like if we are having just one employee in that particular department, that doesn't mean if that one person is going out of the organization, we are closing that department. The department will remain as it is, and after some time will recruit some other employees to join the department. Okay, so department detail are also going with the deletion of this. So account department is no more, and we are getting the problem while we are deleting the records. So delete anomaly occurs when deleting certain attributes. Certain attribute here is the employee name. It will result in loss of the other attributes, which are the department details. Okay, so we are getting the problem while deleting a row. And the last one is update anomaly. What is update? Here in this diagram, you can see that Stuti and Rutvi both are working in the sales department. So we have returned the manager's ID here. It may possible if this table will contain 100 records, then out of 100, 50% of students will be under this sales department. So every time, whenever the manager in charge is changed, it is replaced, then we need to change in each and every record. Okay, it is not a control F, so it will find and replace. It is not like that. Whenever we are having the sales department in any of the row, we need to find them and we are going to change the manager for the same. Think for a scenario, suppose I forget to change in one record. Here the in charge will be changed with 3. So here also it needs to be changed with 3. But suppose here for this particular row, I forget to do that. Then what will happen? In the same department, manager will be different, which is real time not possible. So whenever you are updating, you need to take care all the records which is coming in that particular condition, all of them need to be updated. So update anomaly occurs when updating any records do not reflect changes to all the relevant records. If 1 or 2 is not changed, then we are getting in a trouble. Okay. So how to deal with this kind of database anomalies? Now we study the concept of normalization, which will focus on all these problems which can be occurred due to the insert, delete, and update. So normalization is also called normal forms. In database design, anomalies can be efficiently handled by normalization. Normalization is the process of removing all unwanted as well as redundant data from the table so that database efficiency can be improved. Okay, if we are having the table and there are some of the redundant data which we do not require each and every time, so we are going to remove it. We do not want the unwanted data too. So we are going to reduce the table in such a way that it can improve the efficiency. It can improve the efficiency in terms of different parameters. So we are starting now with normalization. I'm just repeating 1 point again. Hello, am I audible? Okay. Okay, I have started with normalization. Till then, everyone is clear till this first point, or should I repeat due to some network issue and disconnected? That's why I'm asking. Need to repeat? Okay, so we are starting now with normalization. I'm just repeating 1 point again. So in database design, anomalies can be efficiently handled by normalization, and normalization is the process of removing all the unwanted as well as redundant data. What does it mean? Unwanted means some of the data if we didn't require, then we can remove it from the table. And redundant means the duplication of the data. If we are having the same information multiple times, then we are going to remove it. And if we are doing this, then the efficiency of the database will be improved in terms of different parameters. So the first parameter is storage. If we remove the duplication of the data, then it will take a less amount of memory. So in terms of storage, storing the data using least amount of space. The second is scalability. What does scalability means? You can scale up and scale down. That means right now, whatever resources you are having, scale up means if you want, you can grow your number of resources, you can increase it, and scale down means if you want, you can decrease it. So scalability means it is working with the amount of the data. If your data is working increasingly, it will be growing, then it is smoothly cop up with that. So it is called scalability. If your table is in the normalized form, that means the structure is designed in such a way like it will not produces the redundant data. It is not allowed to store the redundant data. That's why it will cop up with the growing or increasing amount of the data. Data integrity. Integrity means the data should not be changed. So consistency and accuracy of the data will remain as it is. So normalization is the process of splitting a single table. Remember this, splitting a single table into more than one tables such that these tables can be linked using joins whenever a query is executed. What does it mean? If I'm having just a one table, so I can make different tables out of that one table. Like if I'm having a one table of students, so I can divide this student table into multiple new tables. And whenever I'm having any of the query, now we know the concept of join. So we can link two tables together and we are getting our desired information. Okay. It is also known as normal forms, as we have discussed, and it is written in the title itself. Okay, so we are talking about this first. I have already written, so it will not consume a lot more time. So we are having one table, which is a student table, which I am highlighting just now. In student table, we are having this many attributes: serial number, division, semester, branch code, branch name, and head of the department name. So I'm having three record as a detail. Serial number 1 is division PC1, semester 3, branch code 7, branch name computer, and head of the department is Jaisar. Second row, TD1, semester 3, 16, IT, Krunal sir. Third row, TP1, semester 5, branch code 04, branch name computer, artificial intelligence, and head of the department is Madhu madam. So we are having all these records. Suppose I am adding one more record here, like serial number 4. Again, I am going with this class PC2, semester 3, branch 07, department computer. Again, head of the department will be Jason, like this. So I have divided this student. Now, what is the problem we are getting here? Do not look it here right now. These two tables, student info and branch info, will go to it at later part. Okay, right now we are just having this student table. We are talking about here for the anomalies. The first one is insert anomaly. Insert anomaly means, suppose now new branch has started, which is computer engineering, big data analytics. So till now we haven't decided for which division we can name here, like the division name can be what. We haven't go through that. We haven't go through the semester for which it is done, like from semester 1 to 6, or it is from semester 1 to 4. We have not decided this too. And the branch code is still, we haven't decided properly. So we are just focusing on that. And later on we know that, yes, for big data analytics, the branch code should be 08. So I can write like this. N means null here. Null, null, null. Branch code, we know that it is 08. Branch name, we know that CE, Big Data Analytics, and head of the department, we know that it is Madhuban. Okay. So here, this is called insert anomaly, because serial number we didn't have. Serial number, you can assume here roll number 2, like student's roll number. So we didn't know which student is enrolled under this course, because we have just started this branch, but the admission is still pending. So this is null. If I'm not having the student's roll number, then I'm not having any of the division name. I do not know the student is in which semester. So we are left with this, all this information, and we are just having the information of the branch which we have just started. But we know that serial number here will be the primary key, and that's why here the null will not allow. Null is not allowed in the serial number. Okay, so it is a kind of an insert anomaly which we are facing. The next one is delete anomaly. Okay, suppose here now I am having this data and I want to delete this second row. Okay, so this student has taken the admission into some other branch from TD1 class. So I need to delete all of this detail, the student's roll number, the student's division, the student's semester. But if this branch is having just one student, and if that particular student changed the organization or the institute, that doesn't mean that IT branch is now no more in the organization. No, it is not like that. IT branch we are having, but just the one student has confirmed the admission. Now he is not combined with the college. That means we want the branch code, branch name, and head of the department as it is. Like it may possible this student has taken the admission from this college to some another college. The similar way, some other institute students will be joining our college. So the branch should remain as it is. But here if you see, again we are having null entries here, null, null, null. We know that it is not allowed. And if it is like this, if we want to keep this delete anomaly, if we are going to delete all of this, that simply means that now IT branch is no more in the college. So when we are deleting the students detail, we are getting the issues for the branch of the college. So it is called delete. Whenever we are deleting the entire record, we are getting the problem. And the next one is update anomaly. That means if you see here, for PC1 and PC2, both the classes, head of the department is Jaisar. Suppose now Jaisar is on the long leave and we are having some new faculty, which is the faculty in charge when Jaisar is not present in the college. And that particular faculty's name should be reflected in each and every record or each and every row where head of the department is Jai Taraya sir. So suppose I have changed the name here, like it can be XYZ, any of the faculty, but I forgot to change it for PC2 class. So PC2 class is having the idea like their head of the department is Jaisar, and they didn't know that the head of the department of their class is not present in the college. So this is how update problem will occur if you have multiple places to change, and if you forget to do it for all the records, then it will create the inconsistent data. Okay, so it is called update anomaly. What is the solution for this all kind of database anomalies? We can divide this student table in two different tables, because student table will contain the information of the student as well as for the branch or the department. So what we can do is we can divide these two tables. We will decompose it. So student info table will only contain the details regarding the student, like student's roll number, their division, their semester, and the branch. And branch information will consist only the information which is relevant to the branch, which is the branch code, branch name, and head of the department. Now we'll see how these three different anomalies will be solved here. Insert anomaly. That means, suppose here I am opening a new branch, which is a CE AI Big Data, which we have just talked. So branch code will be 08, branch name is CE Big Data Analytics, and head of the department is Madhu Madam. So this branch is created even if we are not having any of the student currently associated with that particular branch. Then also successfully we are able to create a branch, or we are able to start a branch into the college. So we are dealing with insert anomaly. Now we'll look for delete anomaly. That means from here, this student of 2TD1 is left the institute. Okay, student has left the institute. That means now TD1 is not the class in the student information. Then also IT branch is existing in the institute. It is not like that one student from IT branch is going out of the college. That means the branch has been collapsed. It is not like that. So if you see in the branch information, IT branch is already there with the relevant information like branch code and the head of the department name. Okay. And update anomaly, we'll see for this how it can be solved. So suppose Jaisar is not present for some time for a college, like for 1 or 2 months, and head of the department in charge will be some XYZ faculty. So we are just going to replace it in the one place, and wherever, because branch code will remain similar, branch name will remain similar. And in all of this record in the student info, we are referring branch code. We are not writing head of the department name every time. So if we are changing the value in the one place, it will be reflected in all the relevant places. And we are not going to update it record by record. This is how we are dealing with all these three database anomalies if we are splitting the table in the proper manner. Till now, do anybody have any query? You can write in the chat box any query or clear. Okay, no queries. Good. Rest of the students, do anyone is facing any queries? So you can tell me now, or else we can move ahead. Okay, good. No queries, clear, good. So we are moving ahead. These all are the different types of normal forms. The first one is 1NF, where 1 stands for first, N stands for normal, and F means form. Normal form means it is a kind of a normalization. Okay, so the first one is 1NF, 2NF means second normal form, 3NF, third normal form. After that, we are having BCNF, which means voice chord normal form. Then 4NF, that means fourth normal form, and fifth normal form. We are having this many types of normal forms. As we normalize our database from 1NF to 5NF, overall database complexity and the number of table will increase. Remember that? Because we are splitting the tables. If we are having one table, we are going to split it into more tables. And this is how we are dealing with the anomalies. That means as we are normalizing from 1NF to this 5NF, overall database complexity and the number of table increases. But the redundancy of the database will be decreases. Now we are starting with 1NF. What does 1NF or first normal form means? Relation is said to be in 1NF if each attribute has a single value. This is a very simple one. You can think for an Excel file. In one particular cell, you can just write one value. You cannot write both the values. Like if I am telling you, write your SPI and CPI along with your name. So what you are doing? In one cell of Excel, you are writing your name, entire name. And after that, you will write your SPI, and in the next cell, you are writing your CPI. You are not doing the practice like in the one cell you are writing SPI, comma CPI. You are not writing like that. So this is called 1NF. That means if each attribute has a single value, if I am having attribute SPI, so it only consists SPI of the student. Do not have CPI. And if I am having attribute name CPI, so it consists all students CPI, not any other record. Okay, it means that a table must not contain either composite or multi-valued attribute. If you know that, sometimes when you're writing in the Excel, you are having a form in Excel and you need to fill the data. Sometimes it is written first name in one cell, after that middle name, after that last name. So if I'm just selecting the first name, that means from the entire class, I'm getting first name for all the students. After that, if it is returned mobile number and it is returned alternate mobile number, that means in the one cell, you are not supposed to give your all 2 or 3 mobile numbers. You are just writing one mobile number in one cell, and in alternate mobile number, if you are having one more mobile number, you can add it there. So multi-valued is not allowed in a single cell. For example, here student, there are 3 attributes: roll number, name, and failed subject. So roll number 1, Priya, failed in 2 subjects, PPS and EEE. Roll number 2, Pranav, failed in EME, PPS and EG. Romil, PPS and EG. Akshar, EG, EME and EEE. Nirali, EG, PPS and EME. In this many subjects, these all are the students whose roll number are failed. But if you see here, it is a multi-valued attribute. Okay, multi-valued means 2 subjects are given, 3 subjects are given, which is not valid. You can write like this: failed subject 1, failed subject 2. It can be possible. If you are writing in the different cell, then there is another case. But here, as you can see in this table, it is multi-valued attribute. In one cell, you are having more than one value, which is not allowed. If I am giving you this table and ask you, is this table in the one normal form? Then you need to say that no, it is not in the first normal form or in 1NF, because these are the multi-valued attributes. As above relation contains the multi-valued attribute, it is not in one normal form or first normal form or 1NF. It is quite difficult to find out the students who failed in either PPS or Triple E, or we can say that in both of them. Suppose I want all the students list who failed in EG subject. So it is very much difficult from this data to identify that, because we are not able to verify with the help of a query. If you remember that we are firing a query, select star from student where failed equals to EG. It can be possible if we are having a single value. Okay, so we are not able to identify this kind of a data. The solution is we can split this table into 2 different tables like this. One table contains all attribute other than multi-valued attributes along with the primary key. The second table contains multi-value attribute along with the primary key attribute used as a foreign key. Okay. Do not go with this description firstly. First we'll see the solution and then we'll again go for this description. So the first table is roll number and name. Okay, so one table contains all attributes other than multi-valued attribute. We know that multi-value attribute is failed subject name. So we are not taking into consideration it, and rest of the columns we are having here in the table number 1. Along with the primary key, here primary key is the roll number. So the first table is roll number and name, and the second table, it contains multi-valued attribute, which is failed subject, along with the primary key, which is roll number previously in the table. And the primary key for this result, we are adding this one thing. Or else, in the simple manner, if you want to create a table, you can do this. Roll number 1, name Priya, failed in PPS. Again, we are writing roll number 1, student Priya, failed in Triple E. Likewise. So, you need to think that one normal form means per table, per cell, there is a single value allowed. Everyone is clear? Everyone is clear with this? Okay, Nancy clear? Parth? Akanksha? Okay, good. Nirali. We are splitting the table into 2 different tables, and roll number is a foreign key. That means it is referring the roll number available in the student table. Okay. Suppose I want to make a table from this data, like we are having 3 attributes: roll number, name, and address. Roll number 1, 2, 3, name Krish, Zenith, and Milan, and address is Kalawad Road, Rajkot, Bhavnagar Road, Rajkot, Elka Cinema Road, Bhavnagar. For example, if I want the data where I want all the students' name who is living in Bhavnagar. So we are getting in confusion, like Milan is living in Bhavnagar and Zenith is living in Bhavnagar Road. So we are having all these details in the same column, which is ideally not allowed. So what can be the solution here? Think for a while. Here it is called composite attribute. Why? Because address will further splitting into 2 parts: street name and city name. Okay, so address is called composite attribute here. So composite and multi-valued attribute are not allowed. If you see here, it is written that, just a minute. Composite or multi-valued, it should not allowed. So we have seen the example for multi-valued, and now we are seeing the example for composite attribute. What can be the solution for the same? Anyone? What can be the solution for the same? Think for a while. What you can do here from this table, if I want to remove the normal 1NF from this table. Everyone is thinking, what can be the solution? The simple solution is here. Can we do this? Roll number, name of a student, street name, and city name. So it will be working well. Like roll number is 1, Krish, street name is Kalawad Road, and city name is Rajkot. So now if I am telling that I want all the students record, yes, Krish replied, instead of address, we should give 2 row. It is a column, good. Street name and city name. So if now I am saying that I want all the student list who is living in Bhavnagar, that means a city name equals to Bhavnagar, you can fire a query and you will get the appropriate result. Okay. So whenever you are, this normalization topic is very much important for competitive exam too. They are giving you one table and ask you identify this table in the first normal form or not, or it is in second normal form or not, like that. So if this is given to you, this table, and ask you like this table is in first normal form or not, so this is not, because it contains composite attribute, it contains multi-value, like both the values together, which is not allowed, and we need to reduce it to remove the this kind of ambiguity. Okay, now we are moving ahead for the second normal form. For second normal form, the condition should be there. First we'll go for the condition, then we'll go for example. So the condition is a table is said to be in second normal form if both of the following conditions is met. The first one is, first thing is table should be in the first normal form. This is the first condition. That means per row, per cell, we are having just one value. It is called first normal form. And the second thing is no non-prime attribute is dependent on the proper subset of any candidate key of the table. The second condition is difficult. We'll see this with the help of an example. Okay. So we are taking one example. First you look at this and identify what we are doing. In this relation, we are having 4 columns, A, B, C, and D. We know that what is the functional dependency now. Suppose I am telling you like AB determines B or B determines C. What does it mean? If I am having both the value of A and B, only then the value of D I can get. And if I am having just the value of B, I can get the value of C. These two are the functional dependency which we are having. Now, identify that we'll find the closure of AB. If I am finding the closure set of attributes AB plus, what can be the answer? Reply quickly in the chat box. A and B must be part of this. After that, what can be the answer? Okay, after AB, we are including CD. So AB is already there and we are including CD too. And if you see, it covers the entire relations attribute. So we can say that relation. And that's why we can say that AB is allowed to become a candidate key. Everyone is clear till this? Why AB is a candidate key? Because when we are using this two value, we are able to get all the values of the table. Okay, so AB is the candidate key, and once we are having a candidate key, we can go for this logic. What is a prime attribute and what is a non-prime attribute? Prime attribute means the attributes which are available in the candidate key. So for our example, it is A and B. A and B is a prime attributes here. And non-prime attributes means the rest of the attributes. In our example, it is C and D. Okay. So prime attributes are A, B and non-prime means C and D. Candidate key में जो भी attribute है उसको हम बोलेंगे prime attribute and the remaining attributes are non-prime. Okay, now we are going that we need to split this table because it is not satisfying the condition of 2NF. क्यों 2NF satisfy नहीं हो रहा यहाँ पे? 2NF में एक रूल ये है, we are seeing here again, non-prime attribute. For our example, what is a non-prime attribute? It is C and D. Okay, so C and D is dependent on the proper subset of any candidate key. The rule is that C और D, इसमें से अगर D को आप देखें तो D किस पे डिपेंडेंट है? A और B दोनों पे ही डिपेंडेंट है. It is combination of this both. तो कोई भी एट्रीब्यूट है जो कि नॉन प्राइम एट्रीब्यूट है वो फुल्ली डिपेंडेंट हो सकता है, यानी कि A एंड B कंबाइनली कैन जनरेट अ कैंडिडेट की, तो D वो दोनों पे ही डिपेंडेंट है, इट इज वैलिड. बट अगर वो पार्शियली किसी पे डिपेंडेंट है, पार्शियली मींस एनी वन ऑफ द एट्रीब्यूट, सो पार्शियली अगर वो किसी पर डिपेंडेंट है देन इट इज नॉट अलाउड इन सेकेंड नॉर्मल फॉर्म. सो if you can see here, we are having this condition. What does it mean? B is dependent on A and B both, and we are calling it fully dependent. It is not creating an issue. But B derives C, so here C attribute is partially dependent on candidate key, because our candidate key is A and B both. So we can write here B attribute is dependent or fully dependent on a candidate key, but C attribute is partially dependent. That means it is just dependent on B but not on A. So it is a partial dependency. And once we are having a partial dependency on any of the candidate keys, so it is not allowed in the second normal form. That's why we need to make splitting of the table to become it in a second normal form. How we are going to do that? पहले हम ये समझेंगे कि क्यों ये allowed नहीं है, partial dependency और fully dependency क्यों allowed है. Okay. मान लो कि partial dependency means ideally A and B will comes together only after that we are considering the both values together as a primary key. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम सिर्फ A की वैल्यू को ही प्राइमरी की या कैंडिडेट की बोल रहे हैं या फिर सिर्फ B की वैल्यू. Once we are having the combination of both values, we are considering it as a candidate key or a primary key. Okay? But suppose मान लो कि अगर ये है B derive C, it will creating a problem because suppose I am having this kind of thing, like in A I am having 1, here I am not having any value like null. So if these two values combines together, so we are having at least something like 1 which can be used as a key attribute. Okay, so if we think about this kind of scenario, it is valid. बी नल है फिर भी ये वैलिड है, क्यों? क्योंकि बी अकेला प्राइमरी या कैंडिडेट की नहीं है, ए और बी का कॉम्बिनेशन होगा तभी वो प्राइमरी की या कैंडिडेट की बनेगा। दैट्स व्हाई अ सिंगल एट्रीब्यूट, इट कैन बी एनीथिंग, ए और बी, अगर कोई एक वैल्यू नल है इट इज अलाउड। ओके, सिमिलर वे अगर ए की जगह पे नल है और बी में कोई वैल्यू है देन ऑल्सो दिस केस इज वैलिड। बट मान लो दोनों ही जगह पे नल है तो इस दोनों को कंबाइन करने से भी आंसर क्या आएगा? नल। Once we are combining both this value together, we are having null as an answer, and answer null for a candidate key or a primary key is not allowed. That's why this case is not valid. And if you are having different values for all of this, again it is a valid. Okay, so this third case is not valid. So it may possible if we are combining these two values together, a and b, any one value is null, then also it is feasible. But if it is a partial dependency like this, c value dependent है only b पर, मान लो कि ये पहला वाला केस है जहां पे b की वैल्यू नल थी, ओनली वो a के साथ है तभी वो वैलिड केस है। अगर वो अकेला है और उसकी वैल्यू नल है तो उससे c हमको नहीं मिल सकता। Only for that reason partial dependency here is not allowed. Okay, it may possible अगर यहाँ इसकी जगह पे ये भी होता a derives c, अगर मान लो यही एक कंडीशन होती फिर भी it is not allowed because it may possible a and b combinedly make a key, so a can be possible null, and if it is null then this condition is not properly valid. That's why we are not allowing partial dependency here. Everyone is clear with that? Yes or no? Quickly reply in the chat box. Are you clear with this? Clear or should I repeat quickly? Okay, good. I'm repeating one more time. We know that AB is a candidate key. Prime attribute is A and B, non-prime attribute is C and D. यहाँ पर फुल्ली डिपेंडेंट होना अलाउड है। अगर ये ए बी कैंडिडेट की है तो ए और बी दोनों की वैल्यू से मुझे अगर डी की वैल्यू मिल रही है देन इट इज अलाउड, गुड, इट इज अलाउड। बट पार्शियल डिपेंडेंसी इज नॉट अलाउड, व्हिच आई एम मार्किंग हियर विथ ब्लू मार्कर। सी एक बी पर ही डिपेंडेंट है, इट इज नॉट अलाउड। व्हाई? बिकॉज इफ ए एंड बी कंबाइंस टुगेदर ओनली देन वी आर हैविंग the value of d. a और b दोनों ही साथ में है तभी हमको d की वैल्यू मिलेगी। मान लो a और b की कोई एक की वैल्यू नल है तब भी चल सकता है, पर अगर वो पार्शियल डिपेंडेंट है लाइक b ओनली कैन डिराइव द वैल्यू ऑफ c, और ऐसे केस में b की वैल्यू नल हो गई तो c की वैल्यू नहीं मिल सकती। सो दिस इज नॉट अलाउड हियर। पार्थ क्लियर? दिस इज द रूल, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग इट अ ब्रीफ. This is just a rule. Okay, so now we need to create the kind of a splitting of the table. So हम कैसे डिसाइड करेंगे कौन से टेबल में क्या होगा? So first table will contains a candidate key. Candidate key मतलब A और B दोनों ही. First table contains candidate key as well as those attributes who are fully dependent on the candidate key. In our case, it is attribute D. D है वो किससे मिल सकता है? अगर हमारे पास A और B दोनों की ही वैल्यू है तब मिलेगा. So here we are adding D. This is our first table, and second table consists the partial dependency, which is B and C. Now you can see how it will be correct one. Now it is in normal form. If you see here in the first table, A and B combined together and we are getting the value of D, it is proper. Yes, previously also we are allowing this condition. But in second table, if you look at this, B अब अकेला ही प्राइमरी की है ये सेकेंड टेबल के लिए. सो बी की वैल्यू अब कभी भी नल नहीं हो सकती, ठीक है। whenever I am going to insert any values, अगर वो b की वैल्यू नल है तो अलाउड नहीं करेगा, यानी कि अब हमें c के लिए चिंता नहीं करनी है, बिकॉज b इज अ प्राइमरी की फॉर द सेकेंड टेबल। यहां पर क्या है, b इज अ प्राइमरी की। if b is a primary key, and now you can see on this picture b derives c, so b एक ही प्राइमरी की है, b ही कैंडिडेट की है, तो c उस पर फुल्ली डिपेंडेंट हो गया। so here we can say that c is fully dependent on candidate or primary key, which is b. Okay, so we are splitting the table. Previously our table is this, r is having a b c d, and now our two different tables are like this. First table is a b d and the second table is b and c. Okay, now we are going towards one example and it will be easier for you. No, the second condition is no non-prime attribute is dependent on the proper subset of any candidate key of the table. अगर वो fully dependent है तो ठीक है, पर subset यानी कि partially dependent नहीं होना चाहिए. An attribute that is not a part of any candidate key is known as non-prime attribute. We have seen just now the attributes which are involved in the candidate key, we are calling it as the prime attribute, and which is not a part of this candidate, we are calling it as a non-prime attribute. We are having this table school where three columns, teacher ID, subject and teacher age. Means a teacher ID is this. One teacher can go for different subject, like this 111 number of teacher can teach his maths as well as physics. 333 will teaching this physics and chemistry both. So a teacher can teach more than one subject. The table can have multiple rows for a same teacher. So from this table, you can say that, yes, table is in the first normal form. It is satisfying the first condition. But you can see that your teacher ID, subject and teacher age, the candidate is the combination of these two. That means teacher ID and subject. Teacher ID and subjects will combine together and only then it will make a candidate key. So non-prime attribute क्या हुआ? Teacher age, which is not included in the candidate key. Non-prime attribute अगर उसको टीचर एज है वो किसके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट होनी चाहिए? फुल्ली कैंडिडेट की, यानी कि ये दोनों पर ही डिपेंडेंट होनी चाहिए। कौन टीचर है और क्या सब्जेक्ट ले रहे हैं उस पर ही टीचर की एज डिपेंड होनी चाहिए, विच इज नॉट करेक्ट इन दिस एग्जाम्पल, बिकॉज टीचर की एज सिर्फ वो टीचर के आईडी पर ही डिपेंडेंट है। कौन सा टीचर है उसकी एज, वो कौन से सब्जेक्ट ले रहे हैं, वी आर नॉट फोकसिंग ऑन देम। सो द फंक्शनल डिपेंडेंसी लाइक दिस, teacher's ID, I am writing TI. If I am having the teacher ID, then I am able to identify the age of that particular faculty. In this, subject is not an important attribute. And that's why a table is not in second normal form, as the teacher age is fully dependent on the teacher ID, and teacher ID is not just a candidate key because the candidate key is teacher ID plus subject. Till now, everyone is clear? Okay, good. Okay, so we are keeping it like this, and from next lecture we'll continue. Now I'm taking your attendance. We are taking the example and it will be easier for you because it is not that much difficult. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen and I'm going to take your attendance now. Okay, Riya, Hemangi, Shyam, Kirtan. रिया तुम बहुत दिनों से नहीं आ रही हो, कोई कुछ प्रॉब्लम है क्या है? Riya Hemangi Shyam Kirtan. Rupal Kunal Awadh. Nancy Vaibhav Kushal. Akanksha Forum. Dhwani Janvi Harshit Dakshaben. Yes, Shyam, I marked you present. Harshit Mahir Parth Urvashi. Kumarpal Rahul Bhavik Pooja. Pearl Rutri Rutiben.
Ma'am, it's Rahul. I'm not able to send the message.
Okay, Rahul, mark you present.
Sorry, ma'am.
Akshay. Okay. Akshay Akash Ahmed Sachin. Akshay,
यस मैम.
ઘણા દિવસે કેમ ક્યાં હતા?
मैम थोड़ा बिजी है तो.
Cover all the things, and if you are having any doubt, let me know.
ओके मैम.
Sachin, Chinmay, Dhairya, Milan, Hitesh, Hina. Chirag, Vansi, Kamalraj, Astha, Shelby, Jaikishan, Hiren, Naresh, Munaf, okay, Naresh, Munaf, ઘણા ટાઈમે પ્રેઝન્ટ છો. જતીશ, મોહિબ હુસેન, ક્રિશ, મિશી, ખુશલ, ઉમંગ, પાર્થ, કાર્તિક, દીપ, ઉર્વિશા, મિહિર, નિરાલી, શરદ, राहुल, श्रेया, कृष्णा, मिलन, सुनील, हर्ष, यश, दीक्षा, Zenith, Varun, Stuti. Varun, Dhwani, I have marked you present. Okay, this is an important topic for DBMS, most important one. So do not miss any of the lecture for normalization. Make sure that. Thank you all of you. Have a good day.